All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the sprint review for the SSW Rewards mobile app project. This is the review for Sprint 45 and the forecast for Sprint 46. So let's go straight into the review. Sorry, that's forecast. All right, so for Sprint 45, these two sprint goals were a bug about signing up with Apple, Google, or email in the rewards app. And luckily that was fixed. That happened to be an expired token. And so that was a relatively quick fix, which is good because authentication is important. So that one is done. And then the second sprint goal was also an authentication bug. That is practically done, but we're waiting for a last pull request approval. And so that's why it still says in progress. This was about a user getting logged out of the app after they updated.
Right. Look, I understand there were those bugs, and maybe they were big bugs, but what I thought were the goals were 2 done videos. That's what I thought. I could have been wrong.
No, we did set these as the goals in the last forecast, but the done videos that you're talking about are also in the sprint further down.
Yes, of course, if they're bugs, you do the bugs before, but unless they were big bugs, I wouldn't have made them the sprint goals. How big was that first bug?
Well, I guess it's subjective, but I consider anything authentication or login or registration related to be the biggest.
It's the number one thing, but how long did it take?
Zach?
Well, that one didn't really involve much. It was more just investigating it because it was related to a existing bug that we previously fixed.
Right. Yeah, of course it would be higher, but it's just a tiny piece of work, I think. Okay. All right.
Okay. Any more questions before we move on?
No problem. Just the word week is, oh, they fixed it.
Yeah,
Good.
fixed. All right, so this is the review for Sprint 4.5. It was 1 week long. The project lives in GitHub, and I am the product owner, also being Scrum Master now. Product owner used to be Adam. And we have JK, Zach, Adam, and Caleb here.
And Anton.
And Anton.
Yeah.
Hello, Anton.
Hello.
Okay, so we had both JK and Zach working on this sprint. JK worked. Oh, are these wrong, guys? I thought we looked at Zach has 29 hours and JK only has 16.
Yeah, that doesn't look right.
Well, yeah.
The timesheets.
I think
it correctly.
I think this is wrong, guys. Unless you did, unless there's a bug with the timesheets.
So
Yeah,
maybe
I think-
fix this up and give Zach, if you can fix that up and just give Seth a new image that he'll fix up before sending this email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll look that.
Okay, let's get that fixed. All right, moving on to the items in this sprint. So you'll notice we have 4 in progress. We would have liked those to be done, but JK only worked on this project for 2 days in this sprint instead of 5.
days.
Sorry, 3 days instead of 5, due to a bunch of other SW work, including a spec review that he spent a bunch of time prepping for, and that didn't happen. So that was kind of annoying.
What was the tech?
AI.
Oh, very cool. All right.
So the important authentication bug, it was investigation is first. We also removed the valuable tab as per Adam's request. And then the user provisioning was causing a crash. And Zach has done that one. And then we also did this important one related to application insights to make sure that we retain logs for long enough, because we had problems in the past where we couldn't investigate them anymore because the logs had only been retained for 3 months, and it had been more than 3 months since we saw those crashes. So we have that fixed. Now, you'll notice the one that I have highlighted here was one of the important ones that Adam requested. JK, this one has 2 done videos in it. JK has done one of the done videos, and the other done video is being blocked by the PBI about sending notifications because he needs to complete the notification UI before he makes the done video for the notification UI.
All right, good.
But we do have the first one ready to show, and I think we can just show a 1-minute snippet of that. JK, are you happy to do that?
Yeah, Adam, if you like that, I can quickly share my screen.
Sure. How long is it? Can you close?
It's 2 minutes, but I'll just show 1 minute snippet.
Good.
Sharing screen with include sound. Here we go. Ideally on a big TV. And now we have a new link here, leaderboard kiosk mode. Now this currently requires an authentication, but hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to do this without authentication. When we click here, we get this nice kiosk mode. What you'll notice is that we remove as much noise as possible. We have nice SSW Rewards logo here. You can change the different ranges as you like. You can change the number of rows per page. So if you want to have top 25 for some reason, you can do that, as well as navigate through the leaderboard. So it's not just you being able to see the top 10 people. And over here, I can change it to all of the top people in the last year. What you'll notice here is the last updated. So this is going to update once a minute. And if it does fail, you'll see a red text down here saying, hey, I failed to update. Last update was at that time. So you don't have to worry about because of the conference Wi-Fi's to not get an update, especially because this is now using a new and improved endpoint that is specifically designed for conferences for mobile devices, as well as kiosk mode, where we have like 200 times less, the size of the package is at least 200 times smaller than what we used to have in the admin portal and mobile.
Pause. This is an excellent video, JK. This kind of shows you what it is and what you need. A couple of small pieces of feedback. First of all, I would show this to somebody in the team and get a test pass before the sprint review, and then get me to watch it before the sprint review. In terms of the total points, I would get rid of the word total and just say points. And then I would have commas in the numbers. So, 11,535 or, 12,100. So that would be better. In terms of the SSW awards, I would put the tagline, whatever the tagline is, next to it. So it's at the top. And the last refreshed, you need to do, rather than last updated, I'd say you can keep it, but what you've got the time there, but you don't have how long ago it was. So last refreshed, you can have the time and then go in brackets, refreshing in 45 seconds, 44 seconds, 43. So people hang around until it's refreshed again. And the other thing is I would have a setting that shows how many you're showing. So you're showing 10 there, but you might have the setting to show 30. It shows 10, then it flashes away and shows 20 to 10 to 20, and then it flashes away. The same thing is when you're at an airport. When you're at an airport, you see the current flights, and then you see the flights later, and then you see the flights even further away, and then it goes back to the current flights. You know how it scrolls through 3 times? Something like that. So you can get to see the top. Everybody can get to see where their name is, because everybody just wants to look at their own name, where they are, and they want to know. Well, I just scanned another person. How many people did I just jump? That type of thing. All right.
So if I understand correctly, what you would like is to change pages over time, so people can see themselves.
Yes, like an airport. So just refresh through the entire list. By default, you can. If you want to make a setting so they only go through the top 20 or the top 30, you can. I wouldn't bother with it personally, because I would just refresh everybody. I'd show everybody. and it just cycles through however many. But you can imagine if there's 200, maybe they only want to show the top 30.
Yeah, right now we have here it says 1,200, but we have over 2,000 now, and it's growing with
Yeah.
each
So I
conference.
think, just you can hard code it to the top 30. I think that's fine.
Yeah,
All right.
I can try to have a chat with Betty and try to figure out how to update the design.
Cool. Do you have all that feedback, JK? You guys happy for us to move on?
Yeah,
And then we'll take that offline and work on it.
Yeah, and I did send to Seth this video before, so that's why we quickly checked if we should do the video or not.
Okay, no problems.
All right. I will take back over the screen share and back to the review. Thanks, JK, for that. So moving on from the work items in this sprint to the sprint burn up. So I will just make this a little smaller so you can all see it. So you can see in the sprint burn up that we made approximately, we got halfway through the amount of effort in the sprint. Like we said before, that was largely due to JK not working as much as we expected to. Otherwise, we would have been much closer to the top. Moving on to, so code coverage has not been implemented yet. And we also did not do a velocity for the sprint. Now looking at the burn up for the big picture, so this is the entire backlog. As you can see, we have barely made a dent in it. We are way down here at the bottom, and there are about 160 something more issues. All right, moving on to the stats for new PBIs created, or sorry, the stats for all the PBIs in the last 30 days. 38 new PBIs, and 42% of those were created using Yakshaver. That's up from 34% last week for the same number. So we had an increase in PBIs created by Yakshaver. We completed 30 PBIs in the last 30 days, and the net change in PBIs is +8. All right, moving on to
sorry, Seth. Quick one. So sprint is 1 week. Why is it last 30 days here?
These stats come from the stat generator that Isaac built, which only has a last 30 days option.
Yeah, and I understand your point, Anton. We're just looking at the same thing for all teams to get a general feel, like to compare across all teams, because we're trying to get to the point where almost every single new issue is Yakshaved. And we're trying to work out, when do people not Yakshave? Most teams are well over 50%. So I know this team is a bit lower than other teams.
Cool.
So you can compare numbers versus numbers.
Sounds good.
All right. Moving on to deployment. So we have had 0 deployments to production, but there is 1 awaiting App Store review, which usually takes 1 or 2 days. So that number should be 1 very shortly. We've had 1 deployment to the API, 2 to test flight, 0 to SSW identity, which is a different project, but it's what Rewards uses for the authentication, and 0 to the admin portal. Now moving on to our application health statistics. Zach, can you just briefly give us a summary of this?
Yep, it's basically the same it's always been. A lot of those, or pretty much all those failed requests are just bot activity. I know JK is working on getting this noise down, but at the moment it's still just showing that bot activity, unfortunately.
I think both of you should, every sprint, spend at least an hour on the phone looking at that. You can see that the pink is identical. There's been no work being done on it. You should always be getting rid of one unhandled exception every sprint.
Yeah, the prototype for that is already done. I just have to test it, and the priority was the done videos.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Yes. Okay,
moving on to the analytics for iOS. So this comes from Firebase, and you can see that we have had 100% crash-free rate, so that's no crashes, which is great. Moving on to analytics for Android, we almost have no crashes. We've had one crash. All right, moving on to, so the product roadmap is currently in the README of the repo, but it will be added to the website. There's a PBI open for that. We did some experimental work. JK has been working on the scheduling system for notifications using Hangfire. That's what it's called. AI use. So Zach has been using JetBrains AI, which uses different AI models. JK has been using GitHub Copilot, which also uses different AI models, as well as ChatGPT and Yakshaver. I guess we've all been using Yakshaver a little bit.
Which model are you using, Zach?
Currently, I'm mostly on Claude 4.
Yeah, so I'd be putting that. I'd say JetBrains with Claude 4. So this is for Zach.
Sorry.
We only want to use the main one they're using, so we know.
All right, JetBrains AI with Claude 4 for Zach. And then JK, do you have a main one?
I switch between 4.1 and Gemini 2.5 Pro to verify how good they are.
Okay, so I'll just leave both of them there. Those are the main ones.
Yeah. So with Copilot, I use these two, but outside, I still use Yakshaver and ChatGPT or Free for more heavier stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, sure. You use ChatGPT just on the outside. Adam, would you like us to also add ChatGPT, or do you want just the specific coding tools they're using here?
I don't know, whatever you guys want.
Okay. I think it's fine to leave it like this, because if everybody puts ChatGPT, it would be noise.
Did anybody in this team use Yakshaver in the last sprint?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't report any bugs this sprint, but I was involved in one of JK's Yakshavers.
Well, if you're involved, if you're in the recording, then you both can put it down. Yes, you both used it. That's great. So Yakshaver on both. Did anyone use V0 to quickly show somebody else what a mockup might look like or anything?
I tried, but then I end up using ChatGPT or Free. It was better.
Okay, any questions before we move on to the sprint retro? No questions. All right, so in terms of what went well, I'm happy that we are retaining logs for 12 months now, because it caused a problem last time when we didn't have logs for a bug we were trying to fix. Zach is happy that we got out a big pull request to improve the authentication. This is related to those bugs that were the sprint goal. And going forward, debugging auth issues will be easier. So that's good, because the auth issues are the most annoying ones. And then we all agreed that having no major crashes is good. And then in terms of what did not go so well, me and JK are both unhappy that we lost JK for other SSW work. And JK is starting to see more development issues as .NET 9 and .NET 10 get updated. It becomes harder to work in the rewards code base because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example, JK?
Well, for instance, I just go for grabbing water, come back, and suddenly all builds start to fail randomly with errors that I haven't seen before. Spend about half an hour trying to fix it, and reboot somehow fixes it.
So have you moved to .NET 9 yet?
No, the priority was the done videos and the notification UI.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's fine. So why were you even screwing around with .NET 9 then?
I mean, the problem is that we are on .NET 8, and all of the updates that are coming from .NET 9 and .NET 10 seems to be messing with .NET 8, because we're using a very specific version.
Why
of
are you
.NET
even
8.
looking at .NET 9 and .NET 10 issues if you are concentrating on getting the videos done?
Because Windows Update just randomly deletes my .NET 8 402 version, and then I need to reinstall it. And sometimes the .NET workloads just gets updated, and I'm not sure by what, and it just makes everything not work anymore, and then I need to reinstall everything. And the only thing that seemed to have changed in the last couple of months is the cadence of .NET 9 and .NET 10 updates from Microsoft, because the updates are being pushed automatically. As I
Right, okay.
haven't, yeah,
All
I
right.
haven't updated
So you
Visual
haven't
Studio.
changed the code base to be using .NET 9 yet?
No, and
Okay,
I'm
this-
also not updating my machine, but it just randomly behind the scenes .NET 8 gets uninstalled.
All right.
And that's-
I think it's because you're taking the preview versions in your Windows settings, because I'm not getting it.
Yeah, the issue here is just the specific .NET 8 version, because behind the scenes it upgrades to the latest .NET 8 version, but that process deletes the previous versions of .NET 8, which is why we are having these issues constantly.
Okay, when you had this problem, JK, did you call Zach and say, are you having the same problem?
Yeah.
You did, and was Zach having the same problem? No, then you
I-
have a different setting on your machine grabbing preview builds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
he
on
was a
Mac,
Mac.
so it's it's a
Oh, you're
different
on a
setup.
Mac. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, then I would have called Anton and said, do you have this version of .NET on your machine? Are you on a PC? Are you on
Yeah.
a PC, Anton?
Nope. I'm
Okay,
on the Mac.
all right. Jacob, you have to find a random a .NET guy to see if they have the same version of .NET on their machine as you. Okay.
So
anyway,
it's a very common
let's
way.
park this one.
All right, so as you might have noticed in that discussion, we are considering upgrading to .NET 9, and that has been approved by Adam, and we have it in the next sprint. So that is the improvement that we're going to work on for next sprint.
Okay, great.
Any questions before we move on to the forecast?
Yeah, the big improvement, as soon as the video is done, get somebody on the team to watch it, get them to reply in writing, test pass, and then call me and I'll watch it. Yeah, so basically you record a video, JK, send it to the team. So all these people in this meeting, just send it to, got a video, somebody test pass it, and then call Zach. Zach will reply done, test passed, call me and I'll watch it.
All right, so we got that down. Anything else before we move on to the forecast? Okay, no further questions. Moving on to the forecast for sprint 46. So the sprint goal will be the done videos for the two features that JK is working on. The first one being the leaderboard and the second one being the push notifications. And then we will add these done videos to the training material for conferences so that everybody who is running a conference will know how to use those features.
Excellent.
The next sprint will be 1 week long, with the sprint review meeting 1 week from today. And on your screen, you see the PBIs that we have for the sprint.
Can I see which one's video 1 and which one's video 2?
No, they're in the same PBI. That's how
Are they?
we have had it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, it's up to you, but I would split them out. Yeah, JK, do you want them split out before this email is sent, or you want to keep them together?
The leaderboard display is currently already done, unless, well, we do have no feedback, so maybe we can split them up.
Yes, they're definitely separate things. You get one, you get feedback, you'll fix those up, you'll ship it, you put it on the channel, etc. Okay, yeah, definitely separate them out before sending it, but that's all good.
Okay, any more questions from anybody?
Excellent, that's very good.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Oh, great work, guys. See ya.
See ya.